Namo Namaha Bhavtam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. Welcome back to the channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And moving on in a series learning Sanskrit through Gita. Today we are decoding 27th shloka from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. A very easy shloka to understand. So without wasting any more time, let's quickly dive in today's video. Okay, so this is the shloka that we have today. Let me go through the shloka once. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharye arthe na tvam shochitum arhasi. Okay, so this is the original shloka and this is the Sandhi Vichcheda of the shloka. So as you can see, Mrityur Dhruvam. So here you have two different pada, Mrityuhu Dhruvam. And due to a Rutva Sandhi that is happening between them, so it is changing into this Yukta Pada, Mrityur Dhruvam. Okay, as you can see from the Agama of this Rakara, Mrityur Dhruvam. So that is a Sandhi. And then we can see a Sandhi happening here also, Dhruvaha. So Dhruvaha, this Visarga is changing into this O, Dhruvo. Why? Because a Ukara, Utva Sandhi is happening here. So Dhruvaha Mrityuhu, this is changing into Dhruvo Mrityuhu. So another Sandhi. And then if we see these two pada, Apariharye Arthe. So what is happening is a Purva Rupa Sandhi. Due to which the Akara of this Arthe, this is being hidden by this Avagraha Chinna, as you can see. Apariharye Arthe. So this A is hidden behind this Avagraha Chinna. Okay, so a Purva Rupa Sandhi is happening and between these two pada also. So Tasmat Apariharye. So here this Takara is changing into this Dakara. Why? Due to Jashtva Sandhi. So the two separate padas, Tasmat Apariharye, due to Sandhi they are changing into Tasmad Apariharye. This da is coming. Okay. And again, for further details, you have the PDF file that you can download from the link in the description box. It have all the word by word breakdown of the shloka. It also have the sandhis and the Ashtadhyayi Sutras related to these sandhis. So all these PDF sheets can be found in the description box. So do download them and make use of them. Okay. We'll just directly go with the decoding of the shloka now. Okay. And now we are starting the shloka with this pada Dhruvaha. So Dhruvaha, this is not a Kriya Pada. This is rather a simple Nama Pada, which itself is coming from this Pratipadika Dhruva. And in this particular shloka, if you can see Dhruvaha, so this here is being used as a complement for Mrityuhu. And similarly, Dhruvam, this is being used as a complement for this Janma. We will see when we decode the shloka. So this Dhruva, this Nama Pada, this simply means that something is certain. That something will happen certainly. So it can be used as an adverb also. Here it is being used as a complement of some other noun. We will see. But anyways, we are starting with this word Dhruva. And if we'll move on, so a common question will be Kaha Dhruvaha. That what is certain? And the first thing we get is Mrityuhu Dhruvaha. Okay, and this form Mrityuhu. So this is of course coming from Mrityu, this Pratipadika. It is a Pullinga. It is a masculine gender Pratipadika. And this form is the Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam form. Okay, so Mrityuhu Dhruvaha. That death is certain. Okay, but now if we'll move on, a question will pop up that Kasya Mrityuhu Dhruvaha. That whose death is certain. And in response we get that Jatasya Mrityuhu Dhruvaha. And Jatasya. So if we can find out the Pratipadika. So Jata, this is the Pratipadika. Jata means one who is born. Okay, in the sense that someone who has already taken birth in that sense. And this Pratipadika also you can derive, this Pratipadika itself has come from Jan Dhatu. Jan Dhatu means to be born, right? We know this Dhatu because from this Dhatu only we get the Kriya Pada Jayate. Okay, so Jan Dhatu, to be born, to take birth. And when this particular Dhatu is modified using Ta Pratyay, so we get this Pratipadika Jata in the sense that someone who has taken birth, someone who is already born in that sense. Okay, so I hope the meaning of this Jata, it is clear. And now the question was that Kasya Mrityuhu Dhruva, whose death is certain? So I want to say that his death, this Jata, that the death is certain of someone who is born. So obviously I am using the Shashti Vibhakti, the sixth case. So Shashti Vibhakti Ekvachanam, Jata, this becomes Jatasya. Okay, that death is certain of one who is born. Okay, so that is what we get from this first line. And now if we decode the second part of the first line, so it is very similar in structure. So we'll directly open it. And now you can see that Dhruvam. Again, we know that this is coming from Dhruva, that means is certain. And again, I will ask the question that Kim Dhruvam, that what is certain? And the response is Janma Dhruvam. And Janma, this simply means birth. That the birth is certain. But you see this word Janma. So the Pratipadika from which this Shabda Rupa is derived is Janman. Okay, this is a Nakarant Pratipadika and it is a Napunsak Linga. It is a neuter gender Pratipadika. And from this Nakarant Pratipadika, we are getting this Janma as Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam form. Okay. So just take notice of the difference that Mrityuhu, This form was also Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam, but coming from a Pullinga, masculine gender Pratipadika. Okay, and that is why the Dhruva that was complementing it was also in the masculine gender form Dhruvaha. Okay, and here this Janman, since it is a Napunsak Linga Pratipadika, so Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam form is Janma, and the Dhruva that is complementing it is also taking the neuter gender form Dhruvam. Okay, so just notice this difference. The meaning is same, just grammatically their structure is a bit different. Anyways, Janma Dhruvam, the birth is certain. And again I will ask a question that Kasya Janma Dhruvam, that whose birth is certain, and in response we get that Mritasya Janma Dhruvam, Mritasya. So this is again coming from the Pratipadika Mrita. Mrita is someone who is dead. And this Mrita again, just like Jata, can also be derived from a Dhatu, Mri Dhatu. Mri Dhatu means to die. Okay, and this particular Dhatu also is being modified using Ta Pratyay. So when this Dhatu is modified using Ta Pratyay, Mrita, this is the Pratipadika we get, that denotes anyone who is dead. Okay, so Shashti Vibhakti Ekvachanam form, Mrita also changing into Mritasya. That is what you see in the shloka. Okay, so Mritasya Janma Dhruvam, that the birth is certain of someone who is dead. Basically, this birth is implying to the rebirth. Okay, because if someone is already dead, then the next birth, that is basically the rebirth. And with both these statements, you can already guess that this is in a similar tone to what we saw in the previous shloka. That Krishna is just saying that this chain, this cycle of birth and death, this is eternal, that is ongoing. That is why one who is born is eventually going to die, and one who is dead is eventually going to be reborn again. So this cycle goes on. So he is hinting at that only. Okay, so Krishna, having said this, he is now saying that Tvam na shochitum arhasi. And this entire sentence we have already seen in previous so many shlokas. That after pointing this out to Arjuna, that this cycle is eternal, this is ongoing. So he is now saying to Arjuna that Arjuna, you, Tvam is you, na arhasi. You are not qualified to. And you are not qualified to do what? So shochitum. That you are not qualified to grieve. Basically saying that you, Arjuna, should not grieve. Okay, so I hope the meaning is clear. I am not going to decode them again because already we have twice decoded them in the previous shlokas. Arhasi coming from Arha Dhatu and Shochitum. This is coming from Shush Dhatu modified using Tumun Pratyay. But anyways, the meaning is Tvam na Shochitum Arhasi. You are not qualified to grieve. That is to say, you should not grieve, O Arjuna. But again, we can have a question that Kasmin Vishaye na Shochitum Arhasi. That over what matter, over what subject Arjuna should not grieve. And in that response, we get these two words, apariharye arthe. So see, this arthe, so this arthe is coming from the Pratipadika artha. And artha, this have a lot of different meanings in Sanskrit. So artha is used for wealth, money. It is also used as meaning. But here in this context of the shloka, this artha is used in the meaning subject matter. Okay, no, when we discuss something that do not worry over this matter, do not worry over this subject. So there's another word for it, Vishaya in Sanskrit. So artha is used in that sense, that subject matter. Okay, and this another word, apariharye. So this is coming from the Pratipadika, apariharya. Okay, now before understanding apariharya, let us see this, pariharya. So pariharya is coming from Hri Dhatu. And again, pari. So you can already see there is a upsarga pari here. So Hri Dhatu generally means to take away, to steal in that sense. And along with this upsarga pari, so pari plus Hri, this together gives a meaning to avoid. Okay, in that sense. And this particular combination here is being modified using Nyat Pratyay. So all these are basically Krit Pratyay. Basically those Pratyay, those suffixes that modify a Dhatu into some Pratipadika, generally some Pratipadika. So when Pari plus Hri is modified using Nyat Pratyay, so the word we get is Pariharya. And now this Nyat Pratyay, we have seen this before also, this particular suffix is used in the sense that the activity should be done. Okay. So this pariharya, this pratipadika signifies that something should be avoided. But then we negate this meaning by adding this a. So apariharya together. Apariharya, this means something that can't be avoided. Okay, so apariharya, something that can't be avoided, or in other way, something that is inevitable. Okay, something that is bound to happen. Okay, so very clearly artha. This is the namapada here, and apariharya, this is just acting as an adjective to this artha. And here Krishna is trying to say that you Arjuna should not grieve over an inevitable matter. So upon this, over this, so in all these sense we use the Saptami Vibhakti. And that is why this artha, this is changing into arthe. And similarly, its adjective apariharya is also changing into apariharye. And together the sentence means Tvam apariharye arthe na shochitum arhasi, that you should not grieve over an inevitable matter. Okay, I hope this apariharye arthe, all these padas are clear. Let us directly move to the anvaya along with the anuvada now. And now see, in the shloka also we see this he. Okay, this he. So this particular avyaya indeclinable, this basically means for. Oh, for or because. No, when we are connecting a chain of thought, when we are trying to show the continuity of reasoning. Okay, so some reason Krishna gave in the previous shloka and he is continuing with that reason. So in that sense, this is being used. Okay, and we have also seen this, that why it is being used after this first pada. Why not start with this he? So we have already seen this. We took the example of cha, that whenever we connect two sentences with this cha, and so we place this cha after the first word of the second sentence. Okay, that is why you can see that after this first word, he is placing this he. This is just how this cha, this he, all these are used in Sanskrit. Okay, slightly different than how this and they are all used in English language. Same you can see here, that mritasya cha. So this cha is basically connecting these two sentences, but it is placed after the first word of the second sentence. But how we understand it is like this, that it is placed here. Okay, and in that sense. But anyways, Krishna is continuing from the previous shloka and saying, Jatasya hi mrityuhu dhruvaha, that for the death is certain of one who is born, cha, and mritasya dhruvam janma, and birth is certain for one who is dead. Okay, and then he continues that tasmat. Tasmat is an indeclinable, that means therefore. So tasmat apariharye arthe, that therefore over an inevitable matter, tvam na shochitum harasi, you are not eligible to grieve. Basically meaning that you, Arjuna, should not grieve. Okay, and with this again a very clear message is given, that it is futile to complain against the very nature of anything. That if I complain that why the water is wetting the things, and if I complain that why the fire is burning things, then again it is a nature, it is the dharma of the water to wet, it is the dharma of the fire to burn. So what is the need of complaining? And same goes for the life, that if we have come into this life, then we cannot complain against the nature this life works. And the nature is that something, if it is born, it is bound to die. That goes for all the things, not just the physical forms, even the subtle things. Our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs, our principles, they have a starting point and they also will have an end point. So that is what Krishna is trying to convey here. That see for the things in the context of what their nature is. And that goes for the war also, that you are in between a war. That war is inevitable now. And you as a Kshatriya warrior, what is the need? What is the need for complaining it? Because the nature of the war is someone is going to take life, someone is going to lose life. That is the nature of the war. And now if that is inevitable, then you just have to perform your own dharmic duty. And you as a Kshatriya warrior should pick up and don't weep in front of your enemies. Pick up and perform your duty. So with that, he is also trying to give that message to Arjuna. Very clear message, and grammatically also the shloka was pretty easy to understand. So I hope everything was clear. Again, you have the PDF sheets, download it and use it as per your own requirements. I'll meet you in another video with another shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy, keep learning Sanskrit. Vayam punah milamaha. Dhanyavad.